Yeah, but I think he's got a trailer. He's going kind of fast. His trailer looked like he was swinging a little bit too. Like maybe he's local, so he's on this road all the time.
It's a pretty good view over there, though.
I do not want that thing swinging into me. That is a blow.
Yeah, seriously, we don't want this swinging and hitting. Don't go as fast as he is.
Yeah, I'm glad I pulled over.
I know I'm
we would
nervous.
not have fit with that boat and that truck. There's no way. Look at that guy. Look, he's like smooshing on these little rocks. If those little rocks give, we're dead.
Oh, you're talking about not a car. You're talking about a rock.
I'm talking about that huge boulder up there, man.
Gotcha. And feel free to go towards the middle. I'm not very comfortable on the edge here.
Mustang can make it, dude.
Yeah, I know we're gonna make it, but
no
just
problems here.
drive in the center until cars come. You're kind of hugging the edge on my side, and it's not making me feel very comfortable.
It's not the most appealing. Well, I also don't want rocks falling on me either.
Oh yeah.
But what do? Swerve?
Well, 5-mile-per-hour switchbacks. Just give me 10 miles per hour.
Yeah.
You're going 20 when you came into it, so I don't have control over the situation at all. So I'm extra nervous compared to you. So just do me a little favor.
Nice little pull out right here, so you can see. That's a pretty awesome view from up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cannot see it. That's the thing about the switchback is you cannot see the switchback from down there. It looks like there's nothing up here. So.
Right.
It's amazing that this road is here because from down there you cannot see it at all. It's completely invisible.
Are you hugging the edge because of the rocks? You're afraid of rocks falling on us?
I don't know.
Because it's making me very nervous.
It's very steep. It's a very much of a drop. I mean, are you getting some of this over here? Like,
I don't know. I'm clenching my butt cheeks, holding in the fecal, and trying to film. So if you could just stay in the center of the road, I'll look more.
Okay. Oh, here comes a quick car. Let's switch back up there too.
That is cool.
Crazy.
It goes way up there.
This is crazy. This is a crazy road.
I mean, it's all fun, and I'm glad we're doing it.
This road is pretty nuts, though. This is pretty insane. And the fact that there's crumbly rocks all over the place does not give you much. You could actually hike down in there. Oh, it's just like a really flat spot.
Makes you wonder, they couldn't improve it just because they couldn't get anything up here to do it? I've seen roads that...
They might have been afraid, maybe, because of the rocks.
So is it the rocks?
Heavy equipment might be too much might be too much weight.
So it's almost like we want to be down there pointed up. But this
is amazing.
You couldn't tell what this place was until you got up here.
Yeah. I mean, we're so high already. The climb is just incredible.
So the steep grade wasn't so much as you were driving as much as how quickly you're going to go up in elevation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very steep, but the fact that with the switchbacks, after you take a couple of them, you get so high that it's just incredible. And look, it starts opening up. You can really see Monument Valley so well from here.
Well, Monument Valley is over here to the right, man. That's Valley of the Gods.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Valley. Wow, look at that. It's remarkable.
Check out the overlook.
Here's a pull-off. Yeah, here's an overlook. These guys are really pulling over to soak in that view.
I kind of want to as well. Down from that little bumpy road, and we can't see what's in front of us, and there all of a sudden
black cows.
I thought there was a black car that had stopped. They kept having signs that said possible crossing or open pasture, open ranch, whatever. And I kept thinking, I wonder if they'll ever show up. And they did. Luckily it was 4 and we didn't hit them and we didn't have to wait for a long. Brown. Luckily cows don't leap out. Not like deer.
They don't really have that ability. Thank goodness.
We heard the sirens, but we kept our heads in the sand. And now we're back drifting, just hard to feel it, so we pretend, and then we're off and on and off again. Oh, heaven forbid. Oh, we're just on and on again. Oh, it's hard to feel it, so we pretend, and then we're off and on and off again. Oh, heaven forbid.
Yeah. So I basically worked really hard to find a good composition. I ended up having so many areas that looked promising, but when I got there, behind that goblin or behind this range of goblins, I would find no footholds, no place for the tripod. We came out here with an hour to spare, but that still wasn't enough, not in Goblin Valley. So when I settled on a few spots that seemed a little bit too parallel with my foreground, midground, background, I ended up finding out that they were too parallel when you took the shot. I ended up with a terrain that was set up with an element in front of the camera, an element over here in the camera, an element in the midground of the camera, and the one in the foreground, and yet the shot was one big silhouette with different shapes. It all looked like it was on the same plane anyway. It didn't look like I had something in the midground, foreground, barely in front of me, foreground. It did not have that kind of dynamic look with the sun directly behind it. I needed some leading lines. I needed something else. I kept trying to go up on a ridge and nothing was there. I didn't have any footholds, or I couldn't climb it in time. So I ran around. I climbed a lot of caves. I jumped a bunch of rocks to that rock, put the camera down somewhere where it could be secure, and then I'd leap, and I'd take my chubby body and work my way through those goblins. And I still couldn't find the shot. But this shot right here, it wasn't horrible. Take a look at it. It's really colorful. The sky's really blue. The rocks are really orange. Complementary colors. Can't really be disappointed, especially since this place I came for the night sky. And you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a big blue empty sky. It is going to be a sweet Milky Way tonight. As you guys can probably see, let's go to this boulder right here. We've got red light and white light dancing on this goblin. We are in Goblin Valley still, and the situation is we've got a tripod out there and a tripod out a little further there that we left so we can get our gear for the rest of the night's photography of astrophotography. And well, let's look at our GPS.
So we've marked.
Here's where we are, and here's where the dropped pin is. So, other than our pathway being strewn with obstacles,
Like this.
a straight walk from here should get us to that pin.
Oh, nice. And then from there, we still have to find our tripods.
Yep. And then we get our good compositions, and we get some sweet Milky Way photography. And apparently there's going to be a author from Amazon Books who makes the, let's do no advertising for him right now, but he'll be out here recording a time lapse, and we are now a hazard to him.
So join us in our adventure in the night.
And pro tip, if you have a headlamp, go for red light instead of white light because the moths will land in your mouth. Yeah, as the moths were trying to go towards the white light, they were going right into my freaking eyeballs and my mouth. All right.
Wow, so we can just
I think that's our path.
follow this little river path here. So I think we have further in to go. Straight, I think, and then maybe to the left a little bit too. No, this is someone else. It's not the same people. There's no way we walked in a circle.
Yeah. Is there more than us on here?
I don't know. Yeah, there's a few. Oh yeah, we're not alone. No way. Did we really go around in a circle?
Yeah, we totally did.
We're right where you guys met before.
What?
So,
There's the kissing people I pointed at.
Are you kidding? How the heck did we go in a circle?
well, because we went all the way out there, we felt like that was went this way, hit that wide open spot.
When
and it
we
felt-
talked to you guys earlier, we were like clear the hell over that way.
Right.
so
And I
that's-
thought when we heard you guys talking, you were kind of in between here.
No way.
That's what I thought
Way
too.
we just walked around in circles.
Let's
That
just go straight that way.
I
to
feel like I'm
theirs where
going crazy.
I thought I saw the 3 silhouettes. We took a shot before we saw them.
let's go straight this way. I have a
This is
feeling.
Scenic way, place to get lost.
Yes.
Holy labyrinth.
Doing okay, some of them.
There's a tripod.
Oh, holy moly. We found your tripod.
Yeah, there's mine.
Okay, which means mine
It's back there.
is just right back in this. Is this?
We can hear each other though.
Yeah. The question is this my grotto? Oh, this is my grotto. Here are my rocks and my tripod. Fantastic.
Okay, so I
You're just kind of straight kitty corner that way, yeah, to the right a little bit. Yeah, right down in there. I think you're facing it. Yeah.
So your shot we said we should take first, and light pink first.
Wow, guys, we did it. We did it. We found the tripods after going around a complete circle and then coming to my tripod.
All right, guess I got to turn my audio on and the fan off because this video is gone and done. Oh, if you were paying any attention to that video earlier and you saw that light painting that we had to do in Goblin Valley, this was just a little bit of background. I have no idea, Teresa, actually. Brendan is doing perfectly well. His family's perfectly well. I know he goes out a lot with Drew, but I haven't spoken with him since seeing him at Nightscaper last year. So that's it. I think he's doing well. He just doesn't want to talk with me, and whatever. But hey, you work hard with someone. They say that to never open a business with a friend or family because you're gonna really kind of strain the relationship. And I think that plus a lot of work in the beginning of Photog Adventures really tired Brendan out, and he wasn't interested in more. And unfortunately, that was it. But, he's a great guy, and he has fantastic photography. And so I miss having these adventures with him, that's for sure. So that was one of our very, 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 very first videos ever released on this channel. And we did it back in 2016, September 8th. And so it's cool to see that those pictures pictures that you saw were our very first summer doing Milky Way photography in 2016. And, you know, that picture of Goblin Valley, while I could do the sky even better, I kind of like how it's copper with the whole scene of the foreground. It turned out pretty well. But we still have, 4 minutes left until we go live, and so we're just about to go. If you were curious about following with me on anything that I use tonight, it won't be that useful to follow me on Google Earth Pro, but just might as well start downloading Google Earth Pro on your PC or Mac at home. You'll love it. It has some extra features that the browser version doesn't. There is a Google Earth Pro version on the browser that you can find, and it does work pretty decently, but I like having this desktop app much more. The other thing I'm going to talk about tonight is the Gaia GPS app. My Tracks is mentioned but not shown, as well as All Trails. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should put All Trails on this iPad. Let's see. Do I have All Trails on here? Let me just download it. Let me get downloaded before we start. Faster says, it's okay, Aaron, I'll be waiting for. I have several places for making good Milky Way panoramas. Just worry about airplane tickets. The rest goes by my own. Yeah, man. Awesome. Every one of you are so generous. It's so awesome. It's fun doing this because you feel like you're teaching strangers, but not at all strangers. Like, all of you feel like friends. Like, I recognize names like Jerry Thompson. I know he's here in Utah. He's gone to the silo and the trestle like I have. And he's like, I'm here this time. And he's not here with his wife, or maybe you are there with your wife, Jerry. Hello, wife of Jerry. And it's just stoked to have friends that we get to talk about Milky Way photography every Wednesday. So, 2.5 minutes left. Okay, let's see. What else do I need to have with me? Oh, man. It is so warm. Running the AC, and it's still 80 degrees in my apartment. It is not working. I had it down to 71 this morning after a cold night of leaving all the windows open, and I was hoping that would just the AC could keep up with it, but it's not. So this studio space is going to be scorching in the summer. I guess last time when I moved in here, it was the end of the summer, at the end of August, and I started doing more of my videos in January and February, so I don't know what it's like under the lights in this room in the heat of the summer when I start pitting out in my shirts and my face starts dripping with weirdness. Hopefully I wasn't talking to you, Siri. Oh wow, you're actually trying to quote the entire last paragraph of everything I've been saying. I wonder how I bumped that. Okay, my watch is involving itself. Hey, Mark Moore from Southern Cal. Hey, Mark Moore. Oh, you know what, Mark? SS Mold was Mark, and I put him in my head as another Mark out of Arizona. Unless, Mark, did you move from Arizona to Southern Cal now? Man, I got to keep things straight. Jerry says, need to proofread my comments before posting. Intended here, not HEAR. Oh yeah, no worries. Tim Bradley says, from the last video, I have glow-in-the-dark tape on my tripod legs. Easy to find and not to kick the legs in the dark. Yes, you know, Kathy Hanahan has hooked me up with glow-in-the-dark tape. And as soon as I upgraded my tripod, because that tripod has gaffer's tape holding it together on one leg. As soon as I replace that tripod, which I haven't been able to yet, I will be putting that glow-in-the-dark tape on it, most likely, just like Kathy. How's it going, James? Hey, man. All you need is a hose. Clean your coils in your unit, all you need is a hose. Oh, yeah, they were up doing that yesterday, so I thought that today would go better, Kathy. At least he was on that building over there, and I assumed that we were next. Maybe I was wrong, so can't wait until it fixes. Yeah, I moved from AZ back in 2010. So you happen to also live in Arizona, but you're not the same Mark. You're not the same Mark. What is Mark's last name? Because you're Mark Moore. Oh, well, we're about to go live. I'll stop thinking about me and Mark having a private conversation, and let's get ready for Milky Way Wednesday. All right. And check, 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 check. Boom. Let's do this. It's Milky Way Wednesday. Welcome in, everybody. All of you nerds for Milky Way, welcome back. It's Wednesday night, and we're talking about Milky Way photography. And today I'm answering questions that came from a giveaway that we did, it was probably a month and a half ago now, where I gave away one of these Z-Bracket and B brackets. I had them and I was giving them away, and I asked everyone to give me suggestions on what you'd like to see on Milky Way Wednesday. And I'm tackling two requests at once. Well, two requests at once tonight, which is how do you check for cool locations remotely, and then how do you plan to get out there safely in the dark? Well, we're going to hit that up really well tonight. And so thanks for joining me. Let's get started talking about it. Now, just for all those who are new to this channel and hanging out with me, when you're in the chat and you're giving me questions right here, go ahead and type your question or comment that you want me to see in all caps. If you're talking amongst yourselves, as we do every week in chat, you can talk amongst yourselves in regular capitalization. But if you have a question you want me to see and you want me to scroll back on this chat and find your message at the end, hit the all caps or hold down shift and type away, all right? So I do not miss it. In fact, one of the first questions have already been delivered from Nevada X-Tube, and he says, what is the best way to record GPS locations of a site you visit for the first time? There's several ways to do it, and one of my favorite ways is in PhotoPills or using my tracks when I'm trying to follow my entire pathway. So we'll talk about that here right now. So let's jump over to the iPad screen. Oh, the iPad screen is not up. There's me. Hey, me. All right, this is what I need to minimize, and now we're focused on from home. Scouting from home. We are going to talk about Google Earth Pro. We are going to talk about PhotoPills and Plan It and how I use them in tandem to work for making sure what I'm using from my scouting is actually going to work for Milky Way. We're also going to use the Gaia app. Maybe all trails, I say, but I'm going to pull it up and show you what I'm talking about, why maybe all trails. Gaia GPS, and I probably should have written GPS, and I will later. This is such a terrific app for an iPhone user. I can't speak for Android, but for iPhone user, when you import a KML, that is the only app that does it, that just receives it instantly. So let's go through all of these processes. And have I actually opened up Google Earth Pro? Yes, I have. Okay. Whew. All right. First section, the search section. I use Google Earth Pro. And let's look at this and go to the right one. Alt tab there. Okay, this is Google Earth Pro. You will know you have it if it's an isolated app on your computer, where then you also have features up here, and these features are key for what we're going to talk about today. So let's imagine Aaron King is trying to find a new place to go searching. What does Aaron King do to find, a good foreground? Well, one of the first things I will do is go into Google Earth and find a location. Now, because I know this area, I know the light pollution, but as maybe some of you are going to a new area, you should check out the light pollution map, and you should go to lightpollutionmap.info. For instance, right here in Joshua Tree, if you're going to Joshua Tree for your first time and you're wanting to scout areas, pay attention to what you see here on Joshua Tree. All right, this half on the westerly half, that western half is entirely light polluted, and the eastern half is nice. So I'm going to look for a Milky Way that, okay, here I'm looking southeast towards the Milky Way core. So I want to find stuff that I can stand here and look this way. So over here I'm standing where I'm circling and looking towards my spurts of motion action out there to the east. So then I go into Google Earth and I go over, okay, all right, Joshua Tree, what am I going to find? And now I start looking at it for, say, the first time. And what I would do is typically this. I look for water because of two reasons, which I'll talk about in a sec. Roads and tracks, train tracks, differences in terrain, and pictures in Google Earth, then I will search, okay? So I will look for water, roads, cool features, differences in terrain, tracks, man-made stuff, and then pictures. So what I mean by that, let's start off with just understanding Joshua Tree. All right, I can see from 29 Palms, there's a road in here that comes in, and I can see that this is an entrance into Joshua Tree. Okay, here's an entrance. If I was looking around, really astutely, I would notice that there's also an entrance from here, West Entrance Station. And because I know this, there is a South Entrance Station down here. Where is it actually? Is it from below right here, or is it this one?
there's an entrance point from the south, and I can't even recall the best pathway in from the south. It looks like this one might be it. Although, that is an interesting road if it is a road. Oh, wait, is it paved? So I look at this in Google Earth and go, is this a safe road for me to drive on? Is this paved, for example? So I'll zoom in nice and tight. And if I keep zooming in on Google Earth, I'll continually, oh, come on, go to, there it is finally. Go into Street View. And Street View will confirm on these worst parts what's going on. All right, this is fine. This isn't a road that's often bad, or, well, let's just say it this way. If it rains and you have a wash going, then it will be bad. But for the most part, this pathway looks fine, especially on a dry day. And so I'm looking around going, okay, this road is paved. It is an option. Say I really needed to go to Coachella and I go down there in the Yucca Valley area and enjoy Coachella, and all I can think about is the event Coachella. But you go to Palm Springs and go golfing, and then go down through the Coachella Valley all the way through, go to the Salton Sea, and then come up from this direction, and that's an option for me to go in. For the most part, me and everyone else from my areas are all coming in from the north, and we enter in from 29 Palms or Joshua Tree, that west entrance or the north entrance right here. So I'm looking at these roads and I'm finding things. Okay, well, this is Joshua Tree. This is a national park. So what if I'm just trying to find something close to home? And I'm going to share a story that is me finding a place that I found through these methods: water, roads, man-made objects like a train track, and I found a location. I was just looking in an area. Let's go back to the light pollution, and let's just go over here to Utah and enjoy a little bit of how openly awesome it is here in Utah. Yeah, okay, very hot, very bright here, and in the Provo area where I live, but then it instantly goes open, and out here it's open. So what options do I have? So I could tell that I can come down to Santa Quinn and then go west and then come off of this road, and there are a lot of dark skies to play around with. But was there anything interesting in this area out here by Alberta, Goshen, Eureka? And so what I was doing is I was following this road. And as I was following the road and looking at mountains and looking at other stuff, suddenly I kind of noticed that there was a train track. And as I followed the train track, let's see if I can even get on track with the train track. So this is the train track right here. And as I'm following the train track to see, I kind of like the idea of maybe a track that has lines leading up to the Milky Way cores, anything that direction. And I finally saw this shadow. So keep this in mind. If you see a shadow, you have something, and you're like, okay, this is a structure that's actually high off the ground. This might work. What kind of option do I have for pictures in this area? I'm going to click on this to see these options on the left, and you probably can't read this very well, but there is at the bottom here, photos, a check mark for layers. There's photos, and I turn on the photos, and there we go. This is going to show if there's any photos in the area. Now, at the time, they had Panoramio, but now it's Google Maps Photos. And Panoramio had tons of photos everywhere. And even still, you can find tons of photos throughout. Let's see, just let it load for a sec. Any photos loading? I'm not seeing any circles. How about... Okay, you start to see circles there all throughout that, but nothing in this area by the trestle. And so I had an idea that the trestle looked pretty decent using that photo, but I also had the shadow. I had it right off the road. I knew it was going to be easy to scout. And so from here, I found out, okay, this trestle is south facing. Like I can stand on this side of the trestle and look through it going southeast and the south. And when I'm looking towards the western Milky Way, this could be a great location for some fun. And it turned out to be. Let me go back to here. And let's go to this one channel, this guy named Aaron King. When I was with Brendan and we were doing the beginning of the channel, if you go to the videos, sort by oldest, and you will see all these first videos. And one of the first ones is this video. And this is the train trestle and what it turned out to be. Once the ad is over, we'll just go, come on, 2 more seconds. Yes. All right, there we go. And whatever it's on right now, here's us talking to the camera. Travis, my brother-in-law. We tried an angle from here, which is looking down the track. But let's see if I can get a good view of the trestle. There we go. That's something. So this is the train trestle. That shadow that I saw turned out to be quite photogenic, quite interesting, and many images have come from that, like this one right here. This was one of my favorite like abstract panoramas where I really took a straight linear bridge and then warped it with the panorama stitch, and it came out looking like this, where I have an arc going like that and a bridge going like this. So it was kind of fun. And this is the train trestle. So as you're going through and following these tips of looking for roads and train tracks, differences in terrain, water, clearing and cool. Why am I saying clearing and cool? Well, when you're looking in an area, specifically not in Utah, when you're looking for some space to see the Milky Way and you see a water feature, let's see, let's zoom out. Some of you poor people that live in the east. Let's go down into Georgia, since they have, what is the Okefenokee somewhere in here that I'm not actually recalling. Let's just zoom in and see if we can find. Okay, so here's a water feature. Why would I like this water feature other than the fact that I might be eaten by something out here? Is that, all right, I have some light pollution from Chattahoochee. I can see Sneed's right here is going to have light pollution, but it probably gets pretty easy going. Let's find out what's going on. Oh, yeah, this is my window with the light pollution map. Let's zoom out, go over to your fireball land of the east, and here's Chattahoochee, and I start to see there's this island of dark. All right, I got island of dark. I can work with this. It's pretty dark. If I click right there on that side of the water, it says it's a class 3 border, which is pretty fantastic still, and it has a pretty big gap before it gets bright again, so that light pollution is going to be lower on the terrain. So I'm looking at that going, okay, water. Why do I want water? Well, because in most of your locations that you guys all live, you're going to have trees. Let's see. I hold on to the street view guy, and I see all the streets, but I'm going to also be getting these little circles. And I want one on this left side, this north side. I can see this panorama picture, or I should just call Google Map picture. Let's see what I can get with it. This is going to go into the fake street view where it just does the terrain, so might as well use this as an opportunity to show off something. One of the settings that you should do in Google Earth is change your elevation to be exaggerated. So you go into File or Edit. Let's go to Edit. I guess when I'm in this view right now, I can't change that for some reason. Yeah, Tools, Options, that's not going to be it. Oh, it is. Cool. Here we go. Overview map, zoom relation, map size, small, large, infinity. Where are you? Exaggerate the terrain, because you can change the elevation to be exaggerated, and I recommend that you do that so you can really get an idea about what you're looking at. Let me go ahead and show you, because I use my middle mouse click and I can see that these are hills back there. And my settings, now can I see them? I really still can't go to properties. That's interesting. I wonder why. I haven't the faintest idea why I can't go to properties right now. But I didn't notice it in here. What am I not seeing? As I'm in live, I thought this would be something that'd be easy to see, but zoom, blah, 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 cache touring. Touring's different. Navigation's different, just general. Maybe that option is just not visible unless I get my properties up here running, and I'd have to Google why Google Earth Pro is not showing my properties right now. So just know, if you can find that setting, I would exaggerate your terrain. So let's look at this picture that we were trying to find right there. That'll give me an example of, okay, here's the trees. They are tall. They are getting minimized now thanks to the body of water in front of me, and that is giving me a clearing. And the other reason why water's cool is that it is just cool for a Milky Way. You got a reflected Milky Way, the color of the stars, something going on. And so one of the first things I will look for is a water feature that's going to break up some of the light pollution by being a separator. It's also going to give me the tree separation that I need to try and see over them, because if I just go to the middle of an area right here, let's say I click on this picture, what's it look like for here? I mean, this person's house, and it's just got trees already in the right blocking the frame immediately. So you could run into a beautiful looking location that's covered in trees and not able to see it. So I'd always look for something that's going to give me a clearing. when I mentioned a terrain change, that's kind of cool and more interesting out here in the West, where you can look at areas and go, okay, you know, I've been to dance hall. Well, let's try something more simple. I am near Green River, and I'm looking at options near Green River. I've never really gone anywhere but Moab or taken off to Bryce. What is around Green River? And you might notice that there's this color change right here, and you start zooming in. And in Google Earth, you start saying, wow, okay, there's tons of pictures here. This looks amazing. What is this? I'm going to click on one of these pictures. Okay, click on another picture. Oh, wow, look at that. And you start finding out that there's this hidden secret Grand Canyon in Utah called the Wedge Overlook. Well, the Wedge Canyon, or this is the Wedge Overlook view from up here. They call it Little Grand Canyon on Google Earth right now, it looks like. This is one of my favorite overlooks right here. Let's see if I can get a good picture from there. That's from the inside. Give me something over it. Ooh, with snow on it. That's cool. And so what I'm looking at, here's the point. Maybe I'll get a good picture from the point. Yeah, here we go. This is where Brendan and I lost our GoPro, or our drone. He lost his drone by flying it behind this very cliff wall, I think. We flew out this way and then came up behind that cliff wall, and it got stuck back there. So this is a really cool area that you might not know is so close to Green River where you've been, and with a little bit of exaggerated terrain, you can see and really clearly see how much of an elevation change there is, how much of a canyon it is, and get a feel for it. Another thing in Google Earth that even before you go to PhotoPills or Plan It, you can go into here and click on the nighttime, daytime. And when you go into the nighttime, watch as I go backwards in time because it's only like 7 right now. So let's go backwards in time to the morning. And it's going to show me, all right, what does this perspective show? Well, right here I'm looking basically east. Let me look. I'm going to grab this and rotate myself to look towards the southeast. Ah, there it is. There's the core. So from my perspective, let's say I love this one overlook position. Where's my Milky Way going to be? And I tilt with my mouse wheel being depressed and then going up and down while I push it into the mouse. It's a button. You push it in and then you can rock that back and forth. And I'm seeing that the Milky Way core is right there and going up. And Google Earth has included that in the view, which is just fantastic. It's so cool. And I believe that to every season and to every night, it's accurate with how much it's up with the nighttime. Like when it transitions right here to sunset and then goes into the morning, it doesn't start showing the Milky Way core until about 10:45. And it says that on 5:17. That might be a little early, to be honest. We'll have to double check it when we're in Take 2. We'll have to check that when we are in PhotoPills here in a second. So then another cool feature about being in here is what I ended up using when I was in Bisti Badlands. Let's go over there. Oh, it's so warm. Yes. So over in Bisti Badlands, there were these hikes that I talked to you about a couple weeks ago. And I decided that it would be worth going by doing something in Google Earth first. And let's go ahead and let's turn them off. Let's not get any of the distracting. Okay, here we go. So here's one of my favorite features of Google Earth Pro for finding. And I should probably jump into this third. So let's not jump into it next. My plan was PhotoPills next, so let's do that. So now you've found a location. Well, let's say my location was going to be, let's pull out of Bisti because I want to come back to that for the trail. So let's say that we found out that this cool rock right here, oh, what is that? That's shiprock. We decided, wow, okay, that stands out extremely on the terrain, but can it work for a Milky Way? I believe it could, so I need to confirm it. So I have myself moved into the southwest position. I've done a little bit of a nighttime check, and let's go back in time, and there's a Milky Way going right over it, right over it. Okay, that's cool. Now I know that I believe looking southwest, I got a clear view, most likely will be visible. I don't believe there'd be anything going on out there. I need to confirm. And one thing I would do to confirm as well is the light pollution in that area. Say I happen to not check the light pollution first, then I will want to double check. All right, here's Shiprock the city, but here's Shiprock the rock. And looking like this whole pathway going south to southeast is totally outside of the bigger blooms that are happening out here. And I can vouch for Bisti being just south of all these blooms. You get a bloom here in the distance and up in the north, but you just nothing else bothers you. So this will look like it's going to be perfect for light pollution. Nothing southeast. South is going to be bothersome. So now I just want to confirm with PhotoPills whether this works. So then we go into PhotoPills. Now I'm going to do something in PhotoPills and in Plan It, because when it comes to PhotoPills, as you can see here, I use it for the moon pill and the planner. Because when I'm confirming what's happening with my location, I'm going to check the timing of the year that I'm looking at. Okay, I'm looking to go next week. Let's go this Saturday, let's say. I want to know, is the Milky Way position going to be good? Is the light pollution going to be bad? And then I'm going to double check that Milky Way position and timing with PhotoPills and Plan It. And I'm going to start with the moon pill. And so starting with the moon pill, I'm going to confirm whether this coming up Friday would work out for me. And I'm going to go forward. Okay, we got a waning gibbous at the end of this Friday. And let me get rid of this image right here so I don't have any of the light pollution info's ads going on down there. So then here's Friday, May 20th. And that's from what location? Goblin Valley State Park. So I'm going to go into settings up here. And I'm going to change my position to be Shiprock. And I bet if I spelled it correctly, Shiprock, New Mexico, perfect, it found it for me. Here's a Shiprock historical marker. So let's just change my location specifically to that spot for me. And it's telling me that on Friday, the moon will rise at 12:59 a.m. Milky Way will stop being visible at 4:18 a.m. But I'm leaving after work on Friday. I got to drive down there and probably leave around noon. So it won't be till Friday night. When's the moon get in my way? Right here, the moon's going to be in my way at 10:26 a.m. Oh, nope, it sets. It sets at 10:26 a.m. And then up until sunset and the first sight of the Milky Way core, there's no moon. Okay, awesome. When does the moon rise then? Go over here to Sunday or Saturday. Saturday morning, the moon rises at 1:33. So I could be out there till 4:19 to see the Milky Way, but the moon does rise. So I've quickly confirmed that there's this window of opportunity between 10:39 p.m. and 1:33 a.m. All right, Aaron, that's 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. 3 hours of opportunity. Do I still want to go? Yeah, absolutely. Even though the moon is gigantic, a waning gibbous, a 58% illumination, that's still a perfect opportunity. So let me confirm some stuff in Planner. I'm going to go ahead and try and find Shiprock. I'm going to go down here to the load, and I'm going to use this search address, and I'm going to type in Shiprock, if I can't ever spell this correctly on the first try. And Shiprock, New Mexico, boom, pulled it right up. And I'm going to put my pin out here on this side. Let's say that, okay, I've zoomed in a little. I see some roads. I know that I'm going to probably park right here and walk over. I just want to be close. So let's just go to this position right there. And let's change the time to right now, double tapping this clock. Now it looks like here's what's happening with the moon, the Milky Way, and the sun. And let's go forward in time until May 20th. So I'm going to get there by sunset, and I'm going to wait for the Milky Way. Civil twilight ends at 8:49. Nautical twilight ends. Astro twilight ends. And here we are looking at the Milky Way core finally showing up. Okay, brilliant. I don't see any problem with that. I might want to be closer and come closer than I thought just to get the Milky Way off there, or go off to the left more so it kind of kisses that and then goes up and over. And then by the time, let's see, my moon is going to start showing up. Oh, here comes the moon. Here comes the moon. That line is showing the moon has risen. And by the time the moon has risen, the Milky Way is there. So if I was over here, the Milky Way would be on the left of the rock. If I started over here, the early part of the night, the Milky Way would be right on top of it. And let's say that that was my favorite. Knowing the timeline of, I have 3 hours. And now I've confirmed that I most likely have a lot of opportunity to walk around here and make it to that side and make it work. I mean, of all objects to ever concern myself with, this pinnacle out in the middle of nothing was an easy pinnacle. My biggest concern will be this ridge and this ridge. If I couldn't go far enough because the ridge started blocking my way, then maybe that wouldn't work. But obviously, there's just plenty of opportunity. Just need to drive over to the road that's, not really a road, but a path that people have driven. I can zoom in on Google Earth and see what kind of pathway I can expect. All right. Oh, there's even a pathway right here. And there's some tracks coming off this way. I'm still on this side of the rock, though. And I can see in Google Earth that people have driven, and there's two tracks going all the way, two-wheel tracks going all the way over here, and I don't even have to walk it. I can just drive it. Right on. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm driving here to this point. I got a nice giant rock and a Milky Way off to the right of it. Maybe even come back a little further, and I can see another set of tracks that lead me here. So here I am. I've decided in Google Earth, based off of this shape, I want to be on these tracks that are easy to get to. What am I seeing over on my PhotoPills? All right. I can see the tracks that they're driving around. I can see them right here, and I can see some right there. So I am imagining I can get myself right to this point by just driving. And I love this point. Say I'm even proud of the idea of having a little winding S-curve of this wash right there in front of me and making part of my leading line going up to the shiprock. That could be pretty cool. So I want to get myself to that position. Well, in this case, I have a very specific GPS point that I want to be. And I want to make sure I go there with my device. I want to see how long it would take me to drive to this point, knowing that Google Earth won't be able to give me, or Google Maps won't be able to give me an exact road to get to the spot, but I want to make sure I save it. So I save this position and say it's a point of interest, and it's going to call Shiprock Early Milky Way. And I need to do a category. If I don't do a category, it doesn't save. If I try to save right now, it'll say, hey, missing or incorrect data. Please select a category. I'll just say that it is a rock formation. And now save. So I got this position saved. It exists. But I can also do something here. I can go down to action at the bottom right. And I click on action and I say, let's go ahead and let's open up my maps. Open in Google Maps. And now my app for Google Maps, from where I'm living to where I'm going, is set up for me. It's going to take me 6 hours and 19 minutes to get here. It recommends this pathway. Whether or not that is going to be an actual working path, you can see how there's just a lot of crisscrossing options. Coming down through here and then working your way up north is one that I've done already. I've also done this one coming across down in. It's really a location that is not as easy to get around. We're using it for the sake of our video, but I'm not recommending everyone go there. But it is a pretty cool rock. You just need to make sure you work with the Navajo Nation and don't do something that they wouldn't like you to do. So let's pretend like we're going here and we're not worried about any other factors. And you come right in here and it'll tell you, all right, I can get you here with Google Maps to this point. All right, Google Maps, you've helped me to this point. How can I get the rest of the way? So the other question was, how do I get myself there in the dark? Well, let's imagine you've set up something like this one where you've got yourself most of the way, but you're not all the way there. And you believe you can find yourself a path, whether you're by walking or driving. Let's do something in Google Earth. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and identify what Google Maps is giving me and what Google Earth is showing me. So I see this shape, I see this shadow line, I see this shape in the shadow line. I recognize this road, and it's right off of, looks like this, and this. These three pinnacles are going to be good identifiers. So I'm looking to the south, and from this map I'm looking north, and I see these pinnacles. So this pathway right there is getting me to this road by the lower pinnacle right there. So I can just safely say it's trying to tell me to come to this and then curve up there. See that pathway? So from here, I need to get myself safely over to my other spot. All right, what was my other spot? Well, let's go back into my PhotoPills app. And I'm going to go down. Oh, I've lost track. Where is it? Oh, has it stopped showing, or am I just missing it? It's right there. Okay, that's why, because I wasn't in PhotoPills. So I've decided on this exact coordinate, and I want to get to this point. Well, I can also do another action where I email it to myself. And I'm going to email it to Milky Way. Well, actually, I'm not going to show you the email, so I'll just go to my email. Aaron King. I'm showing you like all my emails. Aaron at Photog Adventures. Type this well. Aaron at photogadventures.com. Plan from PhotoPills. Boom. I'm giving myself the plan. And then over here off the screen, you're not going to see this unless I have to move this window. Nope, I don't have to move the window. I'm going to open this email up, and I'm going to get from it the actual coordinates to copy and paste. And that's what I'm looking for. So there in this email, I'll show you, let's see. Let me just show you a screen grab of this much information. So I'm going to open up a little snipping tool, and I'm going to show you that this is what I got. So Aaron King has sent me this email right here. And I can't really zoom in, can I? Nah. But you can see how there's two attachments, a PhotoPills attachment and a KMZ file. And I'm going to open up that KMZ file. So I'm going to click on this, and now I'm going to download it and say, okay, photopills.kmz. And now look at this Google Earth. It's opening up that KMZ file and saying, here's where that pin was. And I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize that already. I go back and forth between the apps. I can see this, I can see the wash, I can see everything about it. So I know that my plan is to get out to here, and my plan was to arrive from what Google Earth or Google Maps is telling me to come to this intersection. So how can I make myself get there with no problem in the dark? Well, here's where it gets a little trickier, because once you're in this tool I'm about to show you, you're not going to be able to move your map as easy. So I'm looking at it from here at this zoom level, and I'm going to make sure that I can move it easily enough. All right. Okay. So I can see the path. I can see what's roughly the best idea, and I'm getting it all in one frame. Now I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to click on this graphic. You can't really see it, so let me use my zoom. Let's see, where does the zoom end up? This is always a fun process of seeing where this zoom actually ends up covering. There's a part of the picture down at the bottom. Okay, let's go in here, make it smaller. Okay, we're getting close. Alright, it's towards the top of the window now. Alright, here we go. So I know that I'm up on these tools that are at the top part of Google Earth. And I'm going to make this bigger for you now to see. So now what you're seeing are this area of my screen. You can see my cursor really well. This path right here, you're going to want to click on that. And I'm going to go over here and turn that off so you don't have that bothering you. And this is going to allow me to start clicking. I'm going to change my style and color first thing. I want my color to be nice and obvious. Let's do, how about this color of orange? And then let's change the width to about 10, just so it's really big. And I'm not going to hit OK, because if I hit OK, that means I'm done. Anywhere I click on this map now, it's going to start drawing. I'm going to just click one here, and I'm going to follow down this pathway, and I am going to say this path. And I'm not going perfect. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, but I can't move the map. So I'm not going to follow it perfectly. I mean, I could run my cursor like this, holding it down, and it will draw organic shapes, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Would it be better to go up this way or go down this way? What does this path look like? I'm not entirely certain. I'm going to drive over that because I'm looking at what this kind of wash area is. Maybe that's going to be too much of a drive over for my vehicle. I've got four-wheel drive, but I'm not going to try and push it. So I'm going to go up here what looks better, and I'm going to draw my pathway off of that. Now I'm going to zoom out. See, I can't move my map to the right anymore unless I come up here and click to move around and click on that, and now I can actually control where the map is while I'm doing my outline. And I'm just going to go down this pathway that is showing on here, and I confirmed by zooming in that it looks like a worn down part of the road. And all right, this way, that way. And what I'm doing here is creating a pathway that when I'm there in the dark and I can see some of this terrain, I know that this is a potential option. This has potential to get me there, as I'm seeing 2 tracks. Whether or not every section of this is going to be with low sagebrush or high, or if I'm going to have to go up or down crazy sets of terrain, I at least know that it's getting me there. If I wanted to park at any point and just walk the rest of the way, I would know exactly how to get there by this method. All right, so there's my outline. Not only have I drawn the path and it's created this path, I can look right here on measurements and it says that's 1.85 miles. So if I were to be here and park my vehicle and just want to walk around this to that point, unless I cut some of this edge off, I got 1.85 miles to walk. So I'm going to try and get my vehicle as far as I can. So now this pathway exists. It exists on my Google Earth. You can see it. I can double check it if I wanted to be really clear. Okay, yeah, I mostly had that on the right spot. I can see that that's there. It doesn't need to be perfect. For one, this is an image of a satellite image, and when you get there to the like very small, like I would say degree, you're not going to be on top of where it shows that picture, but you're basically getting an idea that within 10, 15 yards, you're there and you'll see in person what you got ahead of you, what you have to face. So now I've created this path. I'm going to go down here, I'm going to right click on it and do the properties real quick so that I can rename it. I'm going to say Shiprock Path. Just call it that. I'm going to right click on it again and I'm going to say let's email it. And, oh yeah, I cancel that. I'm going to right click and save it. I'm just going to save place as. And I'm going to save it to my folders. Let's just go ahead and put it in my Milky Way Wednesday folder for May 18th and say shiprockpath.kmz. And then off camera, I am going to email it to myself. So to aking81 that you've already seen, I am going to do a KML. It's actually .kmz, I think, is what it was saved, but KML or KMZ files are the format that are accepted by Gaia GPS. I'm going to call it shiprock, and I misspelled it, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to go to my folder over here and drag that file over to this screen, to that email. It is a .kmz. I'm going to send it. So then going to my iPad. Here's my iPad. Let's get this out of the background. Focus on the background on the iPad, and I am going to bring this up. So we went in and we confirmed. I didn't pull in Plan It because I'm already taking a good significant amount of time, and I will come into Plan It here as a bonus towards the end. But I confirmed that I liked this position. The timing worked out. The light pollution worked out. My PhotoPills said the moon would be out of my way, and the planner confirmed that I can get a Milky Way over it, and Plan It would do even better confirming that in the VR view. So now I am going to do my route. And my route I just drew up in Google Earth Pro. I created a map path. I exported the KML.kmz. And now I'm going to open it up in Gaia. And so you can see how, I don't want to show other people's emails. So let me just go ahead and go to the chat room real quick while I open up this email. And let's search again. All right, you guys can see this. So I'll go back to my screen now. So right there, I've got the KML showing up. I've searched KML file. I typed in KML for the subject, KML Shiprock, SJIP, and I have this to open. I click on it in my iPad iOS, and this is how it happens. In an Android device, you have a different reaction to it, but most likely the same. And Gaia is the best for iPhone, but you might have options on Android that I don't have. I'm going to click on this section right here. This is going to export. I'm going to say, hey, I would like to, let's open it up in an app. Where's my apps that I want it to be in? Gaia GPS. I click on Gaia GPS, and now the imports say complete. I'm going to zoom out from the map from where I was, and I'm going to go towards Shiprock, and I'm going to find it. All right, okay. If I was on location and had this open, it would show my circle. For instance, I zoom all the way out, and you can see my current location is here. Right here, this orange triangle if we're here in Provo. That's my location. And once I get here and I'm driving, I get to this point. And I'm like, all right, I know I'm going to drive this pathway. And so I have it on my console clocked in the chassis, and I'm watching the road, and I'm double checking. Am I going here? Oh, I'm going left. Oh, here's where I turn left back around this way. Even if I'm in the absolute dark, I can follow this pathway there. When we were going to Alien Throne for the first time, a group of us already had come to this point and recorded a path with my tracks and got us all the way down there. I've said this app 1,000 times, but I'll still just confirm it. This My Tracks app, in fact, let me go bigger screen. The purple one on an iPhone, that purple app there, you'll see, cover my face right there. That one. That's the purple one, My Tracks. It's free. And what I do is I use this at the same time as I am doing one of these pathways that I'm following. So I see in Gaia's app that I'm following the path that I made on Google Earth, but on this, on My Tracks, I hit record and I record the actual path it ends up being. Maybe I didn't foresee a bump in the road that required me to go around. Maybe I didn't foresee something that got really steep and I don't want to hike over that, so I'm going to go around this. So I'm going to create a more perfect map path on my Trails app, while my other one, my Gaia GPS one, has been giving me the direct path I should go to know that I'm heading the right direction, that I know I'm nailing it. Let's go back into this one. So you can see this green section that was recorded by our group prior to us being there. And now we followed this all driving in so that we can be sure to be in this location. And then we all made it to the same area to park. Now the red spot right here is my Tracks recording that I've imported since. And you can see all the pathway that I did. Now this is on the way out. That's why it's so certain. That's why there's such confidence in my stepping. It's not going into circles and going off path too much because I was on my way back to the car. You can see right here, what's that? Why did it jump off like that? Because someone went and watered the bushes over there and then continued on his hike. And so that is recording my every step in the My Tracks app. But because of the Gaia GPS being able to import those apps and those maps, I use Gaia to import. So I go into Gaia to import. This is everything that I've written. So now I can start writing things. So right here I should emphasize that this is Gaia. Oh, I'm not in the right tool. This is Gaia GPS. Now the Gaia GPS app will take imports of KML files. My Tracks, let me just go over here and give myself some space. My Tracks will record for free, as does Gaia GPS, I believe, record and export. So then I can go home and find out where I had that picture taken by exporting my GPS information and then loading up my Google Earth Pro and going, well, I walked around Goblin Valley with Kathy Henahan. What was it like? Where was I in Goblin Valley? And then my entire My Tracks app is saved here. And this is what it looks like when you're not so confident you're going to the right location. Or if you get to a location that is the right location, like that video in the very beginning, this spot was where Kathy and I took pictures of these hoodoos and went back and forth setting up lights, back and forth setting up light, and then taking a bunch of pictures right here, then coming back here, then going over there, and then we wandered our way up to this section on the way out, and then we came back towards our pathway and then made it out to the cars. So I love using them in tandem. I love working together. So when I am going to do something like this, out of I am planning for my couch to go to the train trestle. If I had to do any hiking at all in night from where I parked the car, I'll go into Google Earth and I will draw up a path that makes sense. And that is what I was doing in Bistai, and it worked terrifically. And this was even during a workshop where it's like, okay, they trust that I know where I'm going and I'm taking to a spot that I've never been before. So how can I get better prepared to make sure everyone feels happy that they followed Aaron King into the darkness? Well, this is how it worked, and this is why it went well. And Aaron King has lost where the parking spot is. Here we go. All right, now I'll show you. And so the IMAX screen, here we go. So this over here, you can see that parking is there. We go out of this opening here, and I knew I would want to come to a spot that was deep into this. I wanted to make sure that we walked around things that were big, so I knew we needed to enter from here and not go up and over this. And I also wanted to make it as short as possible, so I created a path. I click on the path icon. I called it Bistai Milky Way Canyon. I did not at the time, but Steve gave it that nickname, and I love it. And I changed my style, my width. Okay, cool. My measurements. I'm going to watch it as it goes. Here's me coming out of the parking space. I'm going to come at this angle. I'm going to come straight to this part as straight as I possibly can. Now I'm going to move my icon over. I know that I need to come up and in to this point, going around this. So I am looking at this terrain to see if there's any reason to be worried about a nice straight path. This makes me wonder if I want to go up and over that, but the rest all looks simple. The rest all looks very easy going. So I went ahead and I just kind of beelined it to the right of that so I can get up into here. And then from here, I knew we would be in this pathway where I wanted to go. And we were going to enter into this canyon. And I look and go, oh, it's 0.33 miles. I click OK. Well, what did I actually do that night? Let's find out. Which one was it? Oh, Hoodoo Canyon, right there. This was our actual path walking that night. And so we ended up kind of cutting off the corner, being there in person. Oh, up here, you didn't really have to go around this because this was easy. We walked right through it instead of going on this pathway that I anticipated being better. And this ended up being like ankle-biting rocks. Okay, we can walk right through that. And then we just beelined it straight to this point and then went to our vehicle. And so even though it was after midnight, it was 1 a.m., the first time I ever came to this point, I used my phone. I had it in my hand, and I was saying, okay, guys, we're walking this way. And I made sure I was on that path, and I'd look up, and I'd double-check the terrain. Okay, that looks pretty crazy. I'm going to walk off to the right of that. Keep walking. Okay, that looks easy. I'm going to go through that and not go up left because I know if I go through that, I'm at the very end point. And then, boom, I was there. And you can see how we ended up with lots of fun inside this area that was only a 0.33 mile hike in. It was very worth it, very easy to do in the dark. And because I was looking at Google Earth and knew Bistai was interesting, I knew there was a lot of options up here like the cracked eggs, the hatchery, all of this. What if I wanted to go somewhere short? And I looked at this terrain, and like I told you, interesting terrain changes, the coloring of the rocks, seeing the shadows. I could tell that these were taller rocks, and I wanted to come in that wash and see it. Let me just kill all that blue right now, and let's kill the pathway I just made. Where is it? Where did you just save it, Google? I just made that outline, and I guess I can't recall or see what I just made. Oh well. That's not too distracting, but you can see in this terrain right here, there's this wash that we can walk in around these rocks and then find out the truth of it when we get there, and it turns out to be some pretty interesting stuff. Was it May 4th? Nah. I was going to try and show off Steve's pictures, but it looks like I'd have to go back even further. Oh, wait, here we go. Milky Way Canyon. This is from Steve. Steve's image right here of those hoodoos, and you can see how he got up higher and looked over them. We were light painting down there and doing shots, and he was doing a shot up here with a different light, and it's just there was so much that we could capture. Actually, this was not in that area. This was the only one in that area, and it just turned out awesome, just fantastic. All right, so I have blitzed through all of my details. I have given you all of these steps. First, you search. Then you Google Earth to search with that. Try water. Try anything to make a clearing away from the trees. Roads, tracks, train tracks. They're interesting. Man-made stuff. Go to differences in terrain. If you can find that setting, exaggerate the elevation. Let me just zoom in on you for this. And then get the pictures in Google Earth and then search. If you can, do a search. Like sometimes you can find an area that you can search by name with just Googling Milky Way plus this. And you see if anyone's done a shot there to make for sure that it actually can happen. Confirm it using PhotoPills and Plan It. I promise you I do that as a bonus while I wait for questions to come in. Any questions? I see some actual all caps questions, so I know that's going to happen. So let's see how let's see what kind of questions I can answer here in a sec, but let's just go real quick and show Planet, because I gotta give Kirk I gotta give Planet some love for Kirk's sake. So let's go ahead and let's try from here, knowing that I don't use Planet that often. How fast can I get there? I did that search. Let's see if that'll work. Ship rock. I might have even searched in the wrong spot. That's how less active I am on Planet. All right, this came to, looks like the city of Shiprock, but I can get to Shiprock, the rock, easily. So now I know I want to double check that that isn't going to be too high, because you know how close I was planning on being? That might just be a foolish time for me to be there, because it's just the Milky Way is low in this part of the season. So I'm going to put my finger down, and it's going to say, okay, here's a red dot. I'm going to make this my camera location. And it doesn't know what direction I want to look. Well, I want this over here to be my subject. So I have that circle right there available. I'm going to hit a plus sign right here. I'm going to say this is my scene location. So now the camera's automatically changed this green angle to say, okay, I'm looking this way now using a 24 millimeter lens. And I'm going to go into this square right here at the bottom. Tap on that, and I'm going to say Viewfinder VR. And now I'm going to say, hey, you know what? You got some offline elevation here. I want to download it. This is why it's best to even do this from home, because you have Wi-Fi and you can do this from your couch. You're watching a movie with your wife or loved one, and you're like, okay, I want to check out the next place I'm going to go while I'm watching this goofy show, and so I'm going to do this, download it, find a path. And the only thing I can't do on my iPad, but I bet I can, but I haven't tried to find a solution for, because using my desktop is great, is doing my pathway on Google Earth, and then sending that to my phone so that I have it on me when I go. I do all of that through Google Earth on my desktop. Then I send it to my phone. So I won't be doing the map path, but I will do everything else just from my phone there. So now I've got 24 millimeter in portrait orientation, and here's Shiprock. And I'm going to be on May 29th. So let me go ahead and go forward in time the cheap way, where I just swipe. All right, the night, this Saturday, Friday. Okay, so Friday night, and then the Milky Way starts rising. Okay, so I want to be looking this direction. So I'm going to just kind of scoop myself over. And then, oh, look at that. Okay, so from that exact spot, it looks like the Milky Way core is off quite a bit of the right, but I don't mind that, because if I wait a little longer, remember I had a moon coming? This is 1:17, so the moon's coming soon. What was the timing for that moon? I'm going to go back into PhotoPills and remind myself of the moon real quick. I could have done it in Planet, but I'm just telling you, I use both. It was 1 something, about 1:39. So that timing means I should probably change. Oh, I think I moved my camera entirely. Oh no, it changed my focal length. Let's change that focal length back into 24 because of my Rokinon. You can see my angle now looking this way and this way with Shiprock. And what's really neat about this VR is that using the topography of the VR, and if I click the 3D button, because I paid for that, it's a little bit extra feature to get even more 3D topographical information, I can see what kind of shape I'm dealing with. It's not actually it's gradually incline here, but then there's a sheer cliff on this side. So it's nice how it has that interesting space. It's kind of a drop off towards the core and then towards the boring spot. Let's just zoom out. Imagine I had a nice wide lens going, or did a pano on a 14 millimeter. It's got a nice set of rock to take up the empty space here underneath the Milky Way, where it's cut off sharply to give lots of room for the core and the detail, and I'm really loving that. So let's say, okay, I'm going to zoom back in time a little bit. I just want to watch this happen. So I'm going to hit play, and it's going to move a time lapse through there and go, okay, that's what it's going to look like, and then it's going to peel off. So if I kept my camera in this exact orientation, what if I didn't want it to be portrait? Let's go landscape. Now it's going to adjust the map, and I'm going to go back in time. Okay, I'm going to get a better view doing this. I'm going to definitely go landscape, and there's my Milky Way center, and maybe even turn myself this way. Boom, okay, I like this shot so much, and all of this movement, all of this work that I've done is also being saved. So now the angle, 14 millimeter, and the position, the direction I'm facing, all of this is saved in my plan. So if I was to get to this point, oops, I changed a setting. I wanted to just go in here. If I came to this exact point, plopped my tripod down, I already know that a 14 millimeter angled at that azimuth is going to give me the shot that I was just seeing in my viewfinder. And that's what makes Plan It so powerful and awesome, and it really is the one feature that makes it stand out from PhotoPills. That's why I use both. Absolutely love both. All right, let's go back to the recapping. So you do that do the confirming, you double check it, plan it, use the VR view, check it in the planner and the moon pill, whatever you'd like to do. You can entirely skip PhotoPills if you'd like and just do all of the moon planning and the planning all in Plan It. You don't have to do that in PhotoPills. I just have the habit of doing that, and I like it. And then I just jump into the Plan It for the VR view, and I don't worry about it. But that's cumbersome to use 2 apps, and so if you like to use only one, go for it. And then create your route in Google Earth Pro, map the path, export it to your email, open it up on your phone, and then using the Gaia GPS app, you can follow yourself all the way there. I just recommend that once you get on location, you open up your MyTracks app, hit that locator to say, okay, where am I at right now? Boom, hit record, and record what you actually do so that you have that for future trips to go the exact pathway that you recommend, and you can repeat that for yourself. All right, let's hit some questions before I got to go. Aaron's fried my brain. I'll have to watch this video a few times. LOL. Thanks, Mo. I'm glad that I can even give you anything that's overwhelming for you because you've surpassed what I can teach you, Mo. So let's go back to some of these questions that I'm not seeing, that I haven't gotten to yet. All right. Bum, 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 bum. All caps, all caps. The first all caps question is, it can be treacherous driving out at Ship Rock, Rhonda Pierce says. Those roads lead all over the place. They lead all over the place. Lots of deep ruts and drop off, so be careful. Yeah, so emphasize again, for the sake of the representation tonight, I showed you Ship Rock just because it stood out and just kind of showed up and it happened. I was going to show you Bistai, but when you're on location, even though you've mapped it out, you didn't realize that that little shadow was actually a big shadow, and I'm not driving off that, so never do anything blindly and stupidly. Have lots of light and do it even if you're doing it in the dark. And if you're unsure about the path, walk it, okay? Don't be foolish. Don't get yourself stuck in anything bad. All right, good to know, Rhonda, says Cody. Blah, blah, blah. Any recommendations, Nihar asks, on getting an off-roading vehicle to rent around the area? I mean, I wouldn't do anything too crazy and heinous, but even this road, you can do it with a rental, even though they might not appreciate that. You're not off-roading as much as just you're going to go over some bumps and going over some brush, and as long as you have some clearance, you'll be fine. We're talking my Ford Explorer, renting an Expedition. Those are going to get you there just fine. I mean, there's cars that get there. It's not like it has to be that pathway and that difficult. So I've rented Ford F-150s from Enterprise all the time the last several years, and those have been terrific for if I ever need to go off-roading. I do it, but I don't take it to White Pocket. I don't take it to places that are tough to get to in sand just because I don't want to risk it in a rental. And so I only really do things like this where it's just, okay, I need to get over a little wash, I need over a rock, I need to get over something smaller, or just go over sagebrush, and then I can do it in these trucks. Be careful all, says Chris. Yeah, absolutely. Again, emphasize that. Oh wow, hey, you guys have not been chatting too much. I got there really fast. I may have answered all of the questions. If you have any new ones, hit me up right now. We're going to be done here. I just can't do it. I just can't do this in a half an hour. I knew that once I took more than 5 minutes on the first Google Earth section that I was not going to make it. Even though I plan it, I can still not keep to that plan. That's just the reality for Aaron King. All right. No way, man. Always learning, Mo says. Thanks. Let's see. So since I have some time that I'm waiting for you to ask me your final questions before you go, let me talk about my workshops because I do have some open ones. Go to workshops.photogadventures.com, and I want to talk about some that are not on here and some that are. So let me go ahead and show my screen. So over here, the ones that are coming up that are not sold out is a July 28th through August 1st, and this is an intermediate workshop at 1400. And so if you want to join me July 28th through August 1st at Goblin Valley, Factory Butte, and Dead Horse Point, I have 5 slots remaining on that one. This Salt Flats and Ward Charcoal Ovens, this might be postponed as we have only a couple guys coming, and one's coming from the UK, and he may not be able to come. And so I'm going to work that out. John and I and Jamie will figure it out on when we're going to go together. But that workshop, unless you're really keen on joining me, Salt Flats is looking to be dry, unfortunately. I was hoping being in May be even more chance of being wet, but we still just have had a drought conditioned year, so it's not working for Reflection Milky Way, but it's still Salt Flats awesomeness. Anyway, going down to the other options that are advanced, we have Goblin Valley, Factory Butte, and Hoodoo Village. There are 7 slots available for that, August 22nd through 26th, and that is a tracker. I'm going to teach you how to track, teach you how to get a good shot in these areas like Goblin Valley, Factory Butte, and Hoodoo Village, which is this really cool area right here. This is awesome. I just love this rock. And easy places, a little bit of a hike out to this. We're talking like half a mile walk in, and then we got on a little steep terrain. If you can't walk downhill like this, you won't love it. It's a short moment that we do it, though, and we can make it easy for you. And then the fall colors in North Carolina. There's 5 slots remaining in that one. I think it's down to 4. I think I just added another. So if you want to join me out there on the East Coast, we're going to do some fall colors and Milky Way out in these areas. It's just going to be fun being on this drive and seeing the Milky Way come up over Linco Viaduct. I've never done it. I'm excited to do it, and we're going to have a lot of fun hanging in North Carolina, and we'll do Star Tracker stuff. And this is one of those few workshops where I actually have landscape photography going on as well as Milky Way. So if you like not sleeping and you like being busy, you're going to love this workshop. And if you love traffic, depending on when the fall colors turn out to be the prime time for it, I believe we're going to be a few weeks early. Hoping we kind of are, where we get some orange but not insane crowds. We'll see. It's doubtful that we'll have 0 crowds, but it is something that if you like traffic a little bit on Blue Ridge Parkway, come join me. Come join me out there. And then next year, let me hide this screen for a second as I pull something up. Has any chats come through? The planet timeline, Steve says, shows moon above the horizon as the blue line on the bottom of the timeline. Green, yellow line for the Milky Way core. It has those curves on the bottom of the timeline, and you can use that to know when the moon is coming above your horizon. It shows a 0 degree mark, and it goes up above it. So he's right. It gives you that information to slide back and forth, and you'll know exactly that it's come up. Rhonda Pierce says, we like the hour time frame. Half an hour is not long enough to hang out. You know, that's fair. I feel like I'm long-winded and I'm giving you guys something that's fun for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, then you're kind of like, ooh, I wonder what Aaron's talking about anyway. But if you're enjoying it and I get enough votes that way, I'll just keep going, especially since I can't seem to manage to make it short anyhow. Any Oregon Coast this fall, Kirk says. No, we won't be doing an Oregon Coast only workshop, as I was trying to minimize it, go to North Carolina in October. I have a wedding for Rob Ryan to be out to in September, so I wasn't going to fill up that time. But man, November, it might be fun to add another, fall Milky Way Oregon Coast workshop, but I haven't at this point. If there's any interest in joining me out there where we go along the Oregon coast, Brookings, Bandon, Cape Kiwanda, Cannon Beach, it's awesome fun. I just wasn't going to do it again this year, and if anyone wants to join me, let me know. I'll create a workshop for it. If you guys are enough interested, I say go for it. But I was enjoying my workshops are done by October, and boom, workshops are moving on. But I do have some in 2023. In fact, that's what I was going to pull up in the background, because I only have a few available spots left for the Oregon Coast workshop. I have one that sold today, and so I need to update it, but you will see this with different numbers. All right, I think I got something that you can actually look at, and let me show you up on the screen. This was an edition for 2023 where I have Bisti Badlands, Southern Utah, which is Goblin Valley State Park, Natural Bridges National Monument, and even though there's no light painting, we'll still go Gooseneck State Park and the Toadstool Hoodoo. This will lead right into the Nightscaper Conference. So we're going to end at Toadstool Hoodoo, and then we're just 45 minutes from Kanab, and you can go right into the conference. And then after the conference, I'm going to take a group, sold out already, Escalante, Devil's Garden, Dance Hall Rock, Sunset Arch, Fairyland Point, but that's sold out already. But then in June, this one is the one that is just about sold out. And let me just confirm that real quick. And then I'm going to check and see what other comments have come through. This was on a $1,000 one flat fee sale. The sale's not active right now, so ignore that price. But there are 7 slots available for Bis-Dai Badlands, and it was terrific this year. So if you want to join me next year, it'll be terrific again in April. I just can't wait to get back out there. Southern Utah one I was telling you about has 5 available, sold out Escalante, and I'm down to 4. I'm down to 3 in Oregon Coast, I think, already. And that's going to include Crater Lake, that one, June 19th through the 23rd. So if you guys want to join me for that, just email me. I haven't put them up on my website yet, but if you want to join me in 2023 for those before they sell out, I'm going to be emailing the whole list and saying, hey, guys, you want to join me? So you'll be getting some emails about that as well. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see other questions have come through, and let's end this hangout. Teresa Rice, Brookings. At Teresa. I guess I gotta see what Teresa Rice said. You about killed me last time on the coast. Yeah, you guessed it, Mo. Teresa, did you go with me down to that part? I think you did. Because I know with Mo, John wasn't there and Teresa was. That's right. Yeah, it was the same location, going down to Natural Bridge. Let's see. Start of November is a good time, Kirk says. Yeah, I'd love to go out there and join you, Kirk. I'll be seeing you next month. But Teresa Rice, I'm with Rhonda on the hour time frame. Okay, 2 votes for that. Awesome. That was an awesome time, Teresa. It did have that band and light pollution night, but it still was kind of fun. All right, cool. Looks like we are good to go with everyone. If you guys want to join me in a workshop, I hope you will. I'd love to have your support. I'd love to be out there with you and working a workshop and having an adventure. So if you come to the website and you don't want to get any of these and you're looking at the 2023 dates, then just hit me up with an email. Say, hey, Aaron, I'm definitely wanting to go there for the Crater Lake workshop, or I want to go to your Southern Utah workshop, or I want to be there for Bis-Dai. Those are the 3 available for 2023. Those are the only 3 available for 2023 at this point. I don't plan on adding any other ones. So hit me up if you'd like to be there for those. Otherwise, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I am Aaron King with Photog Adventures, and it has been 6 years. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Yes, it's going on 6 years. In September 8th, it'll be an anniversary for the YouTube and podcast starting. I recorded a podcast episode with Rob Bryan talking about my adventures down in Bis-Dai, as well as, what else did I talk about? I talked about hanging out by the Devil's Tower for the Aurora. And so I told those stories with Rob Bryan as a co-host. So I'll have the podcast out here soon and shortly be back on the track with the podcast. I'm excited. So thanks all for supporting. Thanks all for being a part of this. And I need you to coach me down. Seriously. Yeah, honestly, Mo, I know. I'm remembering all of the hands I held to get through that part, but it was so worth it. Thanks, Aaron, from Mark. Thanks, Mark, for coming. Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys next Wednesday, and we'll be back for another, looks like, hour-long Milky Way Wednesday. See ya. Get out there. The moon's good already. Get out there this weekend and have an adventure of your own. Later, everybody.